Okay, well, just to confuse the heck out of me, I'm sure, Sam Adams decided to brew a beer called Festbier, which confused the heck out of me. Now, I'm familiar with Victory Festbier, which is one of those Oktoberfest Marzen beers, famous for the Oktoberfest celebration. And when I saw this, I said, well, Sam Adams already has an Oktoberfest. Why would they brew a beer called Festbier? Kind of strange. So I did a little more digging, as they say, and I found that apparently this is a different style of beer than a Marzen. This is a Festbier lager, or a Weizenbier, not to be confused with Weizenbach. So apparently, from the 1990s on, the style at the official Oktoberfest in Munich of beer went from the Marzen to this lager style, which is more of a golden and bright color than the orangish, very, very malty color we see from your standard Oktoberfest beers, which kind of floored me because I thought that the Oktoberfest style was still prevalent, and I never knew that there was this other golden style that's been, more official and has taken the spot of this other beer. But apparently here we are, and it looks like the Paulaner Brewery gave birth to this style in the 1990s. Why? Well, because the head brewer said, I want a beer that people can, quote, pound, rather than the very malty beer. We're going to make a bright golden beer that's a little more quaffable, and you can down several and get drunk quicker, I guess. I don't know. But normally in this style, it's 5.8 to 6.3%. So it's not really low in alcohol. It's not really high in alcohol either, but still, it's a healthy amount, probably an average amount. Usually 18 to 25 IBUs, and we serve it in a mug. So this particular beer from Sam Adams, I believe, made its debut in 2021, the fall of 21. Part of their Sweater Weather variety pack, which is their fall variety pack, includes, of course, their pumpkin ale Jack O. It also includes their Boston Lager. And the two real October beers are the Oktoberfest and the Festbier. So this is 5.8% ABV, 22 IBUs, so right in that range. And according to the website, it's malty with a soft sweetness like biscuit and spread with honey. A lighter lager with higher ABV for bigger celebrations. So we'll see how this compares to the Oktoberfest. I mean, I like Sam Adams Oktoberfest. Again, not the quintessential. I really love the Victory Festbier, which is an Oktoberfest, not a Festbier lager. So I hope I didn't confuse you too much with that explanation, but this is the style of the time, I guess you can call it, in Munich, Germany, every October. So as we pour it in here, it is a more golden pour. It's a little bit of a lighter look, but I will admit it's not really that much lighter of a look than the Oktoberfest, but it's definitely noticeably lighter, definitely a little more translucent, a thinner head as well, maybe about a quarter of a finger to maybe a third of a finger. Lots of bubbles in it. More of your traditional, this beer is a little more quaffable, I guess, is the word I used before. Aroma-wise of Festbier, definitely getting malts big time. Not as hefty of a malt sensation than your Oktoberfest, but not too much awful different, I would say, from the smell. There's a little bit of a blurb on the back here I didn't get to. It says, the Fest in Festbier means the barley and hops have been gathered, and our growers have their first moment to celebrate another successful harvest. What do they reach for? Festbier. A little more malty, a little more hoppy, brewed to relax and enjoy. So there you go. Taste-wise. Definitely getting a malt bomb in the front and a little more carbonation than you get normally with your normally as compared to the Oktoberfest style. Very crisp. I could see enjoying this while the leaves are falling. It's a good tasting beer. Definitely malt forward and just really, really well done. Can I see this being served in the gigantic 32 ounce or plus 32, depending on how far they can go up, those big steins? I'd rather have the Marzen in there just for the tradition of it, but this is a good style too. And a really tasty style. I mean, I really like this beer. I love the amped up malt for this colder weather season. So I'm going to go ahead and give Festbier a 9 out of 10. I think it's a really good look. I think for what the style description is, it hits on all cylinders. It's got that maltiness, but still kind of being a little more lighter than a Marzen, which is what it's going for there. And overall, really good beer. Knock off probably a point, just in that I'm not really tasting, other than the front of the tongue and being a little more lagery than the Marzen style. Not really tasting too much of a crazy difference. It's a little lighter, a little more quaffable, but it is at that point where you say, hey, this is definitely a session beer. Can't be a session beer at 5.8 ABV. Close to one, but probably not. But really great. First time I've ever tried this style. So 9 out of 10 for Sam Adams Festbier.